Hey, everyone. I'm Becca, he's Matt, and this is Becca's Book Club Adventure. And we read Lightlark by Alex Aster, and we're here to do a full book review.
We're going to be talking about our ratings, our reviews, the story, the characters, spiciness, what we think is going to happen next, all the good stuff.
No ads, no random personal life talk, just book details in this episode. So go grab your copy of Lightlark and join us. Right, so we read Lightlark by Alex Aster.
I really want to get into our ratings and opinions, but I think we should give the listeners a super brief overview of the book and story so that our opinions make more sense.
Of course. First, spoiler warnings. This episode will include spoilers for the entirety of the first book of the series. Secondly, if you want a deeper dive, check out part 1 and part 2.
Okay, so a little bit about the book. Lightlark is by Alex Aster. It was first published in 2022, and it's roughly 400 pages long. The story follows Isla Crown, the ruler of the Wildling realm, as she participates in the Centennial Games, a deadly competition held every 100 years on the island of Lightlark, solely to break ancient curses that are plaguing the Six Realms.
Isla enters the Centennial hiding the secret that she was born powerless and without the affliction of her realm's curse. She enters the game with a pre-existing alliance and friendship with the Starling ruler, Celeste.
Their plan is to find the bond breaker and use it to break their own curses, everyone else be damned.
She also becomes entangled in a love situationship with the Ematic Nightshade ruler, Grim.
The goal of the games is to break the curses and survive the other rulers trying to unalive you.
Major twist reveals that Isla does in fact have powers, which were cloaked because she's half Nightshade.
Grim admits he and Isla met and fell in love a year before the games, but he erased her memories in order to manipulate her into seducing Oro, fulfilling a prophecy that required Oro to fall in love with her so she can access his powers.
The biggest betrayal comes when Celeste reveals her true identity as Aurora, the original ruler who cast the curse 500 years ago, after being betrayed by Oro's brother and Isla's ancestor.
Also, the bond breaker is actually a bond maker, which Aurora uses to steal power from Isla, Grim, and Oro after they fall in love with Isla.
Isla is able to defeat Aurora by using the bond maker to transfer the powers back to herself and then unaliving Aurora.
Isla breaks the curses, saving all the realms, though the emotional toll of the betrayals is significant.
The book ends with Isla and Oro, the only ones she can truly trust, moving into her castle together.
Right. Well, okay. Promised it was going to be super brief, and I think it was. So, Becca, what was your rating for the entire book of Lightlark?
First off, I just love this review is like chapter 1 and 2, and then the last 2 chapters in the book. The whole middle is just missing in there.
The middle, like here, let's sum up the middle. I'll sum it up in one sentence. There was a whole shit ton of whodunit stuff.
Games and trials. My overall rating for this book, I think, is a solid 4.25, 4.5. I love how I said solid and then gave you a range, but whatever.
I think I gave it a 3.75. Did you write a review that you would want to share?
I never actually ever do that.
Would you recommend it to others?
I would recommend it. I think in one of the past episodes, we had talked about how this is such a bingeable book. I did not want to put it down at part 1 so that we could, connect and talk about it before I went on to part 2. So I think if I was to recommend it to someone, it'd be for right now season, right? It's for cuffing season, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you've got a whole day and it's raining outside and it's 40 degrees and you've got nothing to do, sit on your couch and read this book. You will finish it by the end of the day.
So I knew that the second half was going to be good. I'm going to use some hyperbolic language, so don't take offense. Okay. I knew it was going to be good when you were in the car with Elizabeth and I for 6 hours and you ignored the shit out of us for the entirety of that time because you were reading this second half.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't actually pay attention all that well. And then also we had music playing and I was still reading.
um, I would also recommend it to other people, and I think you were spot on that this is it's bingeable. Like I don't think this is the kind of book that you can just read a chapter before you fall asleep in the evening. I think this is the you need to devote a solid 2 hours at a time, if not just sit and read all Saturday and Sunday. I made a very short review on Storygraph. Um, so I guess if anybody wants a soundbite, I wrote, it's not the most complex or mature book ever written, but it's a really good story. Don't fall for the marketing hype about it being Hunger Games because it is its own unique story. The ending is superb. And when I say not complex or mature, I'm like there's some world building, but there's not Lord of the Rings world building.
Yeah, I can actually pay attention to it.
Right. Yeah,
Listen,
exactly.
I
Um,
like the concept of Lord of the Rings. I have never finished those books despite enjoying those characters thoroughly.
um, really good book. I think if anybody watched part one and part two, they might think we don't like the book because we kind of picked it apart a little bit, which is rare. I don't feel like you pick books apart like that very often.
Because I don't read with much of an attention span, but this one had mine.
It's when all right. Um, we could talk kind of generally about the story, the plot, the characters, the twists. Um, let's just think about everything you've read. Um, the overall plot of the book. Give that a little bit of a rating. Does the plot in and of itself meet that 4.25, 4.5 you were talking about for the book? Do you think it's better, a little bit worse?
Yes, one of the things I appreciate a lot about Storygraph is it makes you like kind of talk about whether it's plot driven or character driven. And I would actually say that this is it's always a mix for me, just so we're clear. It's always complicated, but I would lean that this one is more plot focused. And that is one of the reasons I really liked it because they set up this nice little world. This world came with a plot line
Mm-hmm.
with these games that we had to get through. Um, and I thought that they were interesting enough. The plot line at the end, like the game plot line, got really confusing and weird, but it set up nicely at the beginning of the book.
Agreed, 100%. I definitely I agree. It was definitely a mix of plot and character. Um, sometimes where I get a little frustrated with the whole like romantasy genre is there's not as much plot and it's a lot more about the characters and their internal development. And listen, that is great. I like when we were in Crozet, you know, they were talking about how the whole love story, it's no longer the person is incomplete without the love interest, right? It's more the internal journey. So I like the fact that these characters are going through that arc. But sometimes when there's not enough plot happening, you lose a little bit of interest. Maybe you don't lose interest. Maybe it's you don't have a real reason to care that they're essentially going through therapy.
The characters in this book I really liked, but I like Isla as a main character. Did she develop? Did she grow? I don't know. Grim was my favorite character. Grim is who I want to hear more
Hmm.
about.
I also want to know more about Grim. Grim was definitely my favorite character. I had a slight listen, the characters were good. I had trouble picturing them. I don't know about you. I kind of form pictures in my head when I'm reading.
Mhm.
Um, and that was really hard in this book. I feel like who the characters are as people were really well written,
Mhm.
really well described, but what they look like, what the world looks like was somewhat lacking.
Yeah, now that you mention it, I can, like, picture some of the imagery of, like, the landscape that we were given, but the characters are not in the landscape.
Mm-mm. I know one of the big marketing tools these days is like all of the twists. You're going to get all the twists, all the twists. Were did this have too many twists? Just the right amount? Were they good? Were they a little much?
They were good. I think it was an okay amount. I think they were too close together at the end. I think we got a little too much whiplash, and I was like, "Oh, wait, what? Oh, wait, what? Oh, wait, what? Oh, I think I'm confused."
I listen, I don't think I'm the smartest person in the world, but I will say that for books like this, I've never had to flip back a few pages and start rereading a section. And I definitely had to reread a couple of sections near the end of this book just to like keep things straight and ordered.
Right? Like, I didn't end up having to go back and reread, but then it's because I just wanted to keep going forward. But if I had really thought about it, I should have gone back, reread a little bit to make sure I knew what was going on before I kept going.
Yeah, it's just like, wait, hold up, hold up. They got attacked by vines? Wait, who? Why? What did I read that correct? What did was I supposed to read wine? What happened? Like so I like rereading
Yep.
trying to figure this out. Um okay, well okay, Grim was your favorite character and Grim and Isla definitely had some really great chemistry.
Mhm.
Um so uh I don't think this is a great discussion point for you and I because we read the book for but for anybody listening that might want to know, what did you think like how would you characterize the spice level? Um Did it leave you wanting more? Was it like just the right amount? What'd you think of that?
For a first book where we're starting to get to know our characters and our world, and it's not focused on that, it was the right amount. I think we're talking about like a quarter of a chili pepper, half a chili pepper situation. There's some wanting, some longing, some hinting, but
Hmm.
not really anything on the page.
Yeah, I think the dirtiest thing you could say is that Isla's panties get damp a few times.
In her dreams.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. Um, I don't even know if it would be like a full banana pepper. It was pretty light on the spiciness, but I kind of enjoyed that
Mhm.
because going back to the point you said earlier, the plot was the main focus, and I liked that. I felt like the tiny bit of spice that was in there was just enough to further the plot.
Mhm.
Um, Meaning like further the who done it stuff with like Grimm and their relationship.
Yes. Yeah, it furthered that betrayal. It made that betrayal feel real,
Hmm.
where the lack of relationship from Oro that suddenly we're in love with Oro didn't feel as real because there was none of that budding relationship that we had with Grimm. Like if that had been budding all along, sure,
Hmm.
sure. No, but it was one-sided budding and then betrayal.
I kind of want to talk about some of the characters. I
Mhm.
want to get your take on them, my take. Um, like what you think they look like, but we could also just talk about like their powers and what we think of their curses. Um, okay, so we could just start with Wildling. So Wildling is Isla. They have earth powers, and their curse is they like the only nutritional value they get is when they eat hearts, and then they have to unalive whomever they fall in love with. So, oh wait, hold on. Let me ask you this, Becca. Do we want to go? Do you want to go through these one by one, or do we just sort of want to run through what they are and kind of compare and contrast? What would be easier for your brain?
Are we trying to say what we think the characters look like or what we think the each like characteristics of the realms look like?
I think I'm interested in getting your take on what the characters look like, but I'm also interested in getting your take on what you think of the curses, what you think of their powers.
Mm.
And so that's why I'm like, maybe it's easier to compare and contrast them in conversation rather than taking them one at a time.
Yeah, we can go either way about it.
Okay. Okay. Let's just run down through their powers real quick. So Wildling is Earth powers. You want to take the next one?
Nightshade is our shadow daddies, of course, and they control your mind.
Sunling like have like sunlight or fire powers, and apparently the ability to gild things solid gold.
Crazy.
Hmm.
Starling is manipulation of energies from stars and telekinesis.
Skyling is wind powers and the ability to fly.
And Moonling is water and ice powers, and they're resistant to the cold, and they do have some healing powers.
Um, the curses. Wildlings have to eat hearts, and then if they fall in love, they end up having to unalive the person they fall in love with.
Nightshades can't go out at night.
Sunlings can't go out during the day.
Starlings are unable to live past 25.
Skylings are unable to fly.
And Moonlings, every full moon, the sea attempts to kill you.
Right. Okay. So, did any of this feel like weird or ridiculous to you?
Yeah. Okay. So the curses. The most ridiculous curse to me, for whatever reason, is Skyling's curse of inability to fly. You used to have a power. You now no longer have the power. That is your curse. Everyone else actually has to do terrible things or have terrible experiences. You just don't get the thing that brings you a lot of joy.
Yeah. Like, okay, even like with the moonlings, every full moon, the sea attempts to unalive them. Okay, I'm sorry. Just like when the moon is going to be full, don't go near the sea. Like,
You're safe 26 days every 28 days. And at the 28th day, you just need to stay inside with a book. You're good to go.
like you have to believe. Okay, I understand that this is a world, it's not our world where we have all of the astrological charts and title predictions and everything, but I think a constant in pretty much every single world ever is that the females are going to have uh, a lunar
So
cycle or a
messy.
menstrual cycle. One would assume that that's kind of tied to the full moon in some way, shape, or form, and so you'd be able to know when the full moon was coming,
And then
especially with a female ruler in charge of the realm.
and then Nightshade and Sunlings are inconvenient, but they can't go out during 12 hours ish of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay. Inconvenient. Yes, you die if you don't follow the rule. Uh, but not nearly as terrible as Starling, who dies at 25, and Wildling, who you have to murder the person you fall in love with, and
And you have
also
to
need to
eat
eat the
people's
parts.
hearts. Yeah, like what is
And
going on?
I think it was alluded to that maybe they need to eat one every 2 weeks. Like, no wonder their population is dwindling.
Mm. I'm glad that you are a little bit outraged because I was just reading through these. I'm just like, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. These
Like
curses are not fair,
it makes sense why the Starling ruler and the Wildling ruler would be like, y'all, we gotta fix this.
right?
But all the other realms should probably just, shit, it is what it is. We'll deal with it.
Right. Skyling's got to be like, yeah, so our yesteryear forefathers, they loved this shit, but not us.
Uh-uh, not us. Um, Okay, this is going to be the dumbest question in the world. If you had to pick a curse, which curse would you pick to have?
Um, the inability to fly because I already have it.
Yeah, okay, I'm right there. Okay, sorry, I wrote that one down because with our full book reviews, I usually try to make like a would you rather game, and I
Mhm.
started making would you rather questions, and I was like, which curse would you rather? Oh, that's a dumb question. Which set of powers would you? Oh, that's also a dumb question.
Which powers would you have, Matt?
I think that this is so obvious, Nightshade.
Hmm,
Like hands down, far and away, they seem like the most powerful.
fair.
Um, and like their powers can be used as weapons. They can be used as like mental manipulators. They can be used for travel. You can be invisible. You like even if you're not a bad person, they just seem like the most broadly varied powers in one power set, the most utilitarian, as it were.
I think that's maybe why I was like less interested in them because I'm like, I don't really know what your power is other than you make shadows and you disappear. Whereas like wildlings, I'm like, yes, you are one with nature. So my brain was like, that's what I want.
Oh yeah. Maybe I'll change my tune in the next book when Isla is learning how to use her power, and we actually get to see what she can do.
Right?
Because like, okay, you just finished the Cursed, and Willow can do some pretty cool shit,
Yep.
like making the forest come alive around her when there's
Yes.
like an attack and all of those really cool things. So maybe it's sort of like that, and that would be really righteous. However, nobody else has the ability to teleport,
Touche.
and that would be pretty cool. Alex Aster has been in talks with Universal Studios. Um, she's been going in and out of meetings on her Instagram, kind of taking people along with her. So I don't know if that means it's TV or movie. So I want to ask you, should this story be turned into a movie or a TV series, and why or why not?
I don't think it's long enough for a TV series as an individual book. I could see this being like a docu-series, like a 3 episode situation, but I really see this more as a movie.
I was going back and forth with this because what the fourth book is coming out in this month or December or something, right?
I think so.
So she has 4 books. She's got 4 books with a story that she's probably shopping, like selling. Um, so I was torn because I agree with you that I think this book should just be a movie. Maybe a long movie, like
Yeah.
maybe a 2.5 hour movie. Um,
Or a Dune
but
situation where it's 2 movies.
with 4 books worth of material and the prequel that she's also coming out with, I think I did look that one up. I think the prequel is called Grim and Oro,
Mm.
and I think it's going to go back to their whole like butting heads back when the curses were thrown, and the war that they fought against each other afterwards, and uh, but like to me that screams enough material for a TV series. But also then I think about Lord of the Rings and how they took all of that like the war for the first ring of power, and they condensed that into like 5 minutes of content at the beginning of the first movie, and then just kind of sprinkled in references and dialogue throughout the rest. So
But then The Hobbit became 3 movies?
yeah, yeah. Well, that was Hollywood doing a power money grab. That
Yeah,
we're talking about what it should be, what we would want it to be. I
right.
think I think I'm with you. I'd be down for a movie. I think a movie would be better.
Yeah.
Um, okay. I'm I I I wrote this down. I think I'm too old to answer this question myself. I don't know if I'm up and up with like current actors or whatever, but I wrote down who would you want to cast for the characters? Um, and if we can't answer that question, we could just talk about what we think they actually look like.
Yeah, I can't answer that question, so we're gonna have to talk about what we think they look like from the limited descriptions this author gave us, which feels very intentional and very intelligent on her part. But I imagine we have some very different thoughts.
Okay. Let's start with Isla.
She's
And
tan and curvaceous
okay.
with chestnut brown hair.
Okay.
Yeah, like borderline red, but she's not fair skinned red.
Yes. Okay. I agree with you. I think she is definitely sort of like an Italian type or Greek type of complexion, that kind
Hmm.
of olive tan. Um, I have also been picturing her as really curvy. Um, for some reason, I think of her as having green eyes,
Yeah,
and the you said chestnut, and I was thinking like roan brown, sort of like the reddish brown horse.
yeah.
Yeah.
And while she's curvy, I think she's lanky. Like I don't think she's like I think she's long limbed.
Do you think she's tall?
Hmm.
Tall,
Yeah,
like your height, tall or taller?
taller than me.
So maybe my height,
Yeah,
like 5'10".
yeah.
I was picturing as yeah, like when I was picturing curvy, I wasn't picturing like 5'2", you know, like but so we're pretty in line with Isla. We're pretty in line with Isla. Um, Grim. Since Grim was your self-proclaimed favorite character, what do you think Grim looks like?
So I also picture Grim to have like olive complexion, and a lot of tattoos. I think he's not tall for a dude, but I think he's like, somewhere between 5'10" and 6 foot. Very muscular, very well defined. Got that nice shoulder V situation.
I was picturing I was picturing him as being like almost like 6'4", 6'6",
Okay.
but also big and muscular and wide shouldered and all of the things. I have to ask you about his hair. Obviously, it's going to be dark. It's
Mhm.
dark brown black.
With curls, luscious curls.
Is it borderline like goth, like early 2000s goth hair that like falls down into his eyes?
Um, no,
Or
but
is
maybe
it
shag.
shag? Okay. But you don't think it's like high and tight?
No.
No, I think it's messy. Yeah. I like your addition of all the tattoos. I definitely think he's tatted up.
Hmm.
Do you think? Well, okay, let's go to Oro. I think Oro is the other relatively easy to think of.
I think Oro is taller than Grim and equally as broad in the shoulders, but also big, muscular legs and whatnot.
Mhm.
I think he's fair skinned. I think he's got blonde hair.
I think Alex even described him as having white hair, like not white like you're old, but like so blonde.
So blonde, it's white.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
like platinum or something.
I think it's short and well maintained. I could see him having some tattoos that are gold, like not black, but like really imbibing with the gold characteristics.
I like that. That's cool. Um, I envisioned him as having like straight hair, really fine straight hair that he pulled back in some type of ponytail on the nape of his neck. That was never described, but that's what I pictured. I also pictured him as taller than Grim, which, given that I thought Grim was 6'4", 6'6", Oro's a little bit of an NBA freak.
Yeah.
Here's where I got held up, though. So Grim, I could easily picture as, even though Grim is like 550 years old, he still looks like he's 30.
Hmm.
I never thought that with Oro. I don't know if it was because like the first description you get is he's white haired, and then he's dying. I just started thinking he was like looking like he's like 70.
Yeah.
But clearly, I don't think that's accurate, given that Isla, a 19-year-old, apparently falls in love with him at the end.
Nah, they both are in their 40s to me.
Okay. Also, I'm just going to voice this one more time for you. It is super weird to me that somebody that has lived for 550 years or so can be super attracted to a 19-year-old. Like, physically attracted to, sure. But going that extra leap and be like, wow, she is so mature and has so much experience. And I just love all of those thought processes in her head. And
I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't get it.
The next
Okay.
three characters are
Uh-huh.
interesting.
Which one do you want to start with?
Let's start with Celeste.
Celeste. Okay. How long is her hair?
Down to her butt.
Oh, interesting. I was picturing a little bit more of a pixie cut.
Oh, okay. What color?
Brown,
Blonde.
blonde. Woo.
Yeah, this is where I was like white blonde like the stars.
Oh, you're
This girl is fairer than fair. Her
maybe even
skin is.
like, could she have like that? You know how there's been like a trend. I don't know if it's still a trend, but there was a trend for girls with blonde hair to almost go like dirty gray silver blonde.
Yep.
Could it be like that?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
She's 5 foot on a good day. She's
Yes, I was
slender,
also picturing short and skinny. Slender's a
slender,
better word.
teeny tiny little starling of a human.
Um, okay, I kind of like what you're saying about like the silvery blonde hair matching up with the stars. Um, but when I was saying pixie cut, dark brown, I was essentially always picturing like a mean looking version of Jennifer Goodwin from Once Upon a Time.
Fair.
Snow White, if anybody doesn't know the actress's name.
Yeah.
Okay, we're aligned on the really short and petite.
Hmm.
How, like, when you said she had long hair, you said down to her, like down to the booty.
Her butt. Yeah.
You know what? That is very picturesque because I'm now picturing her with the star power or whatever in some type of like drawn caricature at night, like this, looking at the moon, and the silvery hair is like going everywhere in like a storm of
Mhm.
power, like the X-Men or something.
She always felt like she was very put together. She had all these details. She would be the one who has all this hair maintenance schedule things figured out.
Clearly, she's hot.
Yes.
If she was like the girl back in the day that
Hmm.
all the guys were pining over.
But is it the same body? Is Celeste and Aurora the same body? Wouldn't they notice they look the same?
Well, no, she was using a glamour. So like
That's right.
every however often she like but that brings a good question. Were you describing Celeste or were you describing Aurora?
I was describing Celeste.
Hmm. I was also I'm on board with how you described Celeste as being Aurora.
Okay.
Oh, this one's interesting. Hmm. Okay. Cleo.
Cleo is also small. Not nearly as small as Celeste. We're talking like 5'3" ish. She has dark brown hair.
Frosted tips. I I pictured her with short-ish hair, maybe not all the way down to a pixie cut, but shortish hair with frosted tips.
She gives me strong feline vibes of like really catty.
I was picturing like she just walks around all the she doesn't wear gowns or anything. She's always in some type of like spandex suit.
Yes, but the highest of heels. Like, you
Yes.
won't know that she's 5'3" because she's wearing 6-inch heels.
She also has resting bitch face.
Bad. Her makeup gets close to hiding it, but it doesn't hide it all.
Um and I picture her wearing blue toned, like cool
Hmm.
toned
Yes.
makeup, like with blue eyeliner, maybe some like frosty type um lipstick, maybe some like white shimmery stuff around the eyes.
And she has blue eyes and dark brown hair, and that
Yeah, like
combo is.
ice, ice
Hmm.
cold blue eyes. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, definitely the kind of girl you run away from in
Yeah.
college. Yeah. Okay. And so that leaves Azul.
I really don't have much of a picture for him.
Azul. Okay. I've got this one. I picture Azul as being very Poseidon
Mm.
like, or perhaps you could even think of King Triton from The Little Mermaid. But if we want to make him more modern day, sort of like a Khal Drogo, Jason Momoa type thing. I picture him with the pecs and the abs,
Mm-hmm.
um, kind of blondish hair and a beard, but like very well manicured.
I agree with like the Greek mythology vibes. He was giving like when I could picture him, it was wrong. It's wrong. It's so wrong. But he was Kronk
His
from the Emperor's New Groove.
That's funny. I like that.
Like he's just kind of the guy that's there. He wants everyone to get where they want to go. He's gonna help the evil person. He's gonna help the nice person because he just wants the best for all of us.
Can I say I this? Oh, I don't know how to phrase this in a way that doesn't sound ridiculous. He was just like the best gay guy.
Yeah.
He's just so sad he lost his husband. He doesn't want to kill anybody. He even offered up his own life because then he could be reunited with his long lost love. He's just kind to everyone all the time. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
why I don't know why the whole the gay part of his personality helps with all of that, but it does. Uh-uh. Okay, I think we should make some predictions and wrap it up.
All right. What do you think's hidden in the compartment that her crown unlocks?
Okay. So I think a lot of people are going to think that there's going to be some relic, sort of like the star stick or the bond. So the bond maker is a sunling relic, and the star stick is a nightshade relic. And um, what's in the compartment, I think, is one of two things. It's a wildling relic that I have no idea what it does, or it's going to be some type of like diary from her parents with the whole history of the wildling nation or something like that.
I agree with both of those. I am definitely leaning towards it's a letter. There's a letter of information, maybe from the like Lark Crown themselves. but there's some missing piece of the discussion.
Yeah. Okay. So letter, diary, whatever, correspondence for Isla to learn. Do you think it's it's not from her parents? Because it's in the
Parents were
Wild
never there.
Isle that's been, yeah, it's been abandoned, whatever. I think it is from Lark Crown, the original
Mhm.
person.
Yes.
What do you think it says? Like broad strokes.
I think it's their accounts of the events.
I think it's going to be accounts of the relationships between all the rulers. Like maybe not a full picture, but it's going to give you a whole bunch of red herrings. Like can we suddenly trust Oro?
Yeah.
Type of a thing. Speaking of Oro, okay. First question, is he still dying now that the curses have been broken?
I don't know. Is the Wildling Isle still dying? The curse is broken, but I have a feeling he's still dying.
I think Alex Aster did not a great job of letting you know if his illness, not his illness, his illness is tied to the um,
Island.
island falling apart. But she didn't really. She led us to believe that the isle is falling apart because of the curses,
Mhm.
or the curses and the isle falling apart are related somehow. But I'm with you. I don't think that they are. I think that they're two separate things. So I still think he's dying. Maybe the illness is slowed.
Yes, but I don't think it's reversed out. I could see it being stopped, but I don't think it's reversed.
Mm-mm. No, I agree with you.
Where do you think Grim goes from here?
I think Grim is going to be obsessed with Isla still.
Mhm.
Obsessed is a strong word. He's still going to love and pine for her. I think we are going to learn a lot more about their mind control.
Mhm.
And I think that Grim, while separated by distance, is going to try to be sending warm and fuzzy thoughts
Messages.
her way, which are
Yep.
actually going to be received in a negative way. Like, dude, give me my space.
Mhm. Yeah, I have a feeling we're not gonna start the book out with a triangle. I think it's gonna start out as, Isla likes Oro and is annoyed as shit with Grim.
What do you think happens to make it a love triangle, to let Grim back in the picture?
I think Oro does something really dumb, as many 500-year-old men do.
Yeah, all of the 500 men, they all pull that. um, so I'm torn. Is he going to do something stupid, or is it literally just the correspondence that she finds in the compartment? But it's also hard to believe that that's going to be the thing, given that Oro is with Isla when she opens the hidden compartment.
Mhm.
Yeah, he'll do something stupid. You're right.
I think it'll be towards the end of the book, though. I don't think it will be in the beginning.
Okay, so what happens in book two to lead up to that then?
I don't know. I don't know. She set us up well for another book, but I don't know where we're going. I think we're gonna rebuild the Hall of Mirrors, the Castle of Mirrors situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the wildlings will come back to Lightlark, and I think she needs to learn her powers. But that's a very loose plotline.
Yeah, she's definitely going to learn her powers for sure. But like that has real first book energy.
Mm-hmm.
So that can't be what happens in book two. It can't be just a personal magic journey for Isla.
Mm-hmm.
Can't be. I think she has the star stick, and that is way too much of a smoking gun to just go away. She's gonna travel around the realms. I think we're gonna learn what Nightshade is keeping at bay from the rest of the world.
Yes.
Don't really know how, but we will. And I think that trouble or war-esque tension is going to start coming to the front with Cleo and Moonling. So I guess to put it in a bow, I don't think anything actually happens. I think it is a world building book and a magic system building book that,
Yes.
like you said, ends in romantic relationship turmoils as a way to set up. So then all of the tension between rulers, Nightshade keeping something bad back, and the love triangle are like all the cliffhangers that go into book 3.
Yes.
But also that sounds really shitty because there's nothing big that happens in any of what I just
That sounds like a lot of book 2s, though. A lot of book 2s are just
That's
to
true.
get you to book 3.
That is true. Anyways,
So
I'm excited for it, and I think we should put a bookmark in it for now, for sure. Yes.
for all of you listening, what do you think? Who would you cast to be Isla, Oro, Grim, or Celeste in the adaptation? What do you think will happen next?
Feel free to leave us a comment down below, or you can email us at bookclubbybecca@gmail.com or DM us on Instagram. We are at Becca's Book Club Adventure.
We'll be back soon with some book reviews and our buddy read of Timeborn by Sarah Samuels.
And then we will be jumping into book 2 of Lightlark. So until next time.
See you later.
Bye.